Hi friends, welcome to day 9 of Vox Guru's 10-day workshop. Today we are going to deal with a very important and a very practical question that many of you have asked me. How to prepare a daily practice schedule for music? This is a very important question because each of you might be learning music from different sources, right? You may have a face-to-face teacher, you may be following some YouTube channels, you may be following an app and so on. Now, from each of these sources, you will be learning some new exercises every day, right? So, how do you deal with so many exercises? How do you keep track of it? How do you practice it every day? Should you practice all the exercises every day? What if you know 100, 200 exercises? Can you practice everything? Or is there a different way that we can organize and plan our daily practice better? Now, for this, you should start looking at these exercises in a different way. Don't look at them as exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3. Try to understand whenever you see a new exercise, what does this exercise do? What type of exercise is it? What aspect of my singing is it going to improve? So that category, that bucket, you should know. It is very similar to, say, working out in a gym or doing yoga. Even though there are so many exercises, different variations, different types of exercises that we do, still every exercise deals with a particular area of our body, a particular muscle group or a particular skill. Some exercises are specifically for flexibility. Some exercises are for strength. Some exercises are for stamina, agility. So if we understand the purpose of every exercise, then we will find it easy to cover each and every aspect and we can keep changing the exercise. So that is fine. But you should not miss out on any of these core categories which are important for singing. So today I will give you these buckets. I will tell you what kind of exercises fall under which bucket so that every day you make sure you don't miss any bucket. But in that bucket, you can keep changing the exercises depending on what you have learned from various sources. Okay, so let's get started and understand how to plan our daily practice. Now, the first category of exercises that you have to cover every day is for tuning the voice. We have already spoken about this in the very first session where we talked about sa and pa and that relationship. So at least, spend 5 minutes every day to tune your voice to sa and pa. So repeatedly sing these notes, in a long fashion. Try to extend them as long as you can. And every time try to observe the alignment of your voice and the tanpura. So the idea is not to just sing sa 10 times, pa 10 times. Don't look at it as an exercise like that. Think of what is the outcome. The outcome is your voice should be beautifully aligned with the shruti at the end of it. It should become one with the shruti. And that will not happen in the beginning itself. Initially, definitely there will be some sort of fluctuation in the voice. It may not be a very clean tone. Your breathing pattern might be a little shaky. So to stabilize all of that, you need to repeatedly keep singing sa and pa alone. Keep alternating between them and do it for at least 5 minutes. If you can do it for even longer, then that is great. The longer you do it, the better, the more aligned you will be with the shruti. So the first thing that you should take care is sa and pa, and that you can do in different ways. You can sing it as swaras or you can do om, right? Some of you might have learnt omkar. If you have learnt it like that, do that on sa and pa. Or you can use different vowel sounds. You can do humming. So whatever it is that you do, right, depending on what your teacher has taught you, try to adapt it to this particular category, which is tuning. So tuning deals with your root notes where you try to perfectly align your voice with it. You can even go to the higher sa as well. So once you have spent some time with sa and pa, then go to higher sa. Now once you've tuned your voice to sa and pa, then you need to stabilize each and every note. Okay, at least the natural notes you can start with, or if you are going to sing any particular raga on that day, then you can sing the notes of that raga. So every note, again, try to elongate it. You can do it using any sound, using any vowel, or you can do it through humming or akar or anything. But the idea is to extend the note for as long as possible. Observe your breathing pattern. Try to stabilize it gradually. See how the note is ending. Are you running out of breath? Okay, so keep singing each and every note, say around 5 to 10 times until you feel that yes, I am very stable and I'm very confident that I can hold on to it. Okay, so do this first for the lower octaves. Don't suddenly jump into the upper octave. So initially always spend at least 5 minutes working with the notes of the lower octave and stabilize those notes first and slowly start moving higher. And even when you move higher, you should not totally let go of the lower octave. So keep coming back to the lower octave, no matter which exercise you're doing. Right now we're talking about stability, but later when we talk about other categories also, as a common principle, make sure you don't let go of the lower octave entirely, because that is what is going to give you strength in the voice. If you completely let go of it and keep on singing high notes for like 10-15 minutes, then after some time you'll realize your low notes have become very breathy. It will become like it will have that kind of air in it. You won't be able to get that resonant, rich kind of sound. So for that, you have to keep on coming back to those notes. Make sure that you're still having a grip on it and accordingly move up. Okay. So stability, I hope you are clear about it. So anything that involves extending the note, take it from the lower octave to the higher octave, spend a good 10-15 minutes on this particular area. The more stable your voice is, the more easy it will be to take care of your other vocal aspects. Now once you've stabilized your voice with standing note exercises, then you can slowly start doing some warm-up exercises with the swaras. It is very similar to jogging actually. Jogging is one such exercise where you don't cause a lot of strain to your body, but at the same time you are developing and building momentum for the more difficult exercises, right? You're developing stamina slowly. So similarly, even with the swaras, you can do a slow warm-up, either using your basic alankars, sarali varisai, janta varisai, or even your staircase exercise and so on. Okay, but make sure the swaras are slow. Don't try to go very fast, because you're not trying to run here, you're only trying to jog. Okay, so keep that aspect in mind and slowly warm up your voice so that there is no strain and your voice becomes very comfortable across your vocal range. Now once you have done these slow warm-up exercises and gradually opened up the various octaves, then you should work on your flexibility. How easily are you able to jump between the swaras? So each teacher would have taught you different type of jumping notes exercise, right? So that comes under this bucket. So you can pick up any exercise from there. For example, sa ga ri ma ga pa ma da pa ni da sa. So here we keep jumping notes, right? Or there is one more exercise on this channel itself. Sa ri sa ga sa ma sa pa. Remember this kind of exercise? So all exercises which involve jumping notes, okay, but not very fast. Again, keep it at a medium or even a slow speed is okay, because we are not working on agility right now. We are working only on flexibility. So focus on the correct pitching, reaching that note. When I'm jumping from one place to another, am I hitting that note correctly? Okay, so try to categorize whichever exercises try to find out which all exercises fall under this category. Another very important category you have to work on is strength of your voice. Now, strength is usually developed very well when you practice double notes. If you are a Carnatic student, you would have learned janta varisai, right? Sa sa ri ri ga ga ma ma pa pa da da ni ni sa sa. So every time you sing the second note, you give a stress, you give an emphasis. So we have different types of double notes exercises, right? You must have learned so many variations. So do those exercises for sure in your daily practice and make it a point to give that emphasis correctly. You can even practice it with akar and with all the vowels, where your emphasis should be the main aspect of focus. And the more you do it, your voice will develop a good amount of strength. And whenever that emphasis is required in a song, you will be able to give it. The next category of exercises is typically for agility. Now, agility is basically how fast, how swiftly you can move between the notes. So any exercise that you learn, you can convert it into an agility exercise just by increasing its speed. Of course, if you convert the flexibility exercise and make it faster, that becomes an even better practice. For example, we learn Dhatu Varisai in Carnatic, right? Sari sa ga ri ga ri ma sa ma ga ri sa ri ga ma ga pa ri pa ma ga ri ga ma pa, and so on. So this exercise works for flexibility, agility both, right? So you can use these kind of exercises depending on what you have learned, or you may have learned something else. So agility is mainly about making your exercises faster, but without losing the clarity on every note. It is easy to make things fast and rush through it, but it should not sound like you're rushing through it. You should have the same amount of control, whatever you had when you were singing it slowly. Same amount of control, same amount of clarity should be there when you make it fast. And finally, one of the most important aspects of your daily practice should be akar. Akar, as you know, is the practice of singing every note using the A sound rather than the actual name of the swara. Now, akar is very challenging because there are no consonants separating the notes, right? Like when you sing sa ri ga, you have sa ri ga, you have those S, R, G, you have those sounds which will help you transition from one note to another. But with akar, we don't have any consonant in between. So your voice needs more strength to clearly transition from one note to another. So if you're learning classical music, you would have definitely learned how to do akar, what is the correct technique for akar, and so on. So use that technique and make sure it is a part of your daily practice. Even the exercises that you have done so far, whatever categories of exercises I have told you so far, you can do them both with swaram and with akar. Okay, so akar is a must for your daily practice. It will really open up your voice and develop a lot more strength in your voice as you move between the notes. Now, once you have practiced all these categories, do not leave your practice session, on a very high note or on a very energetic note. Make sure you again cool down your voice, start singing slow notes again go into lower octave, middle octave, and all of that, because when you practice for a long time, your voice would be really stretched. You will find it more difficult to sing the lower notes. So now try to again cool down your voice gradually. I'm sure if you have done the voice culture course on the Vox Guru app, you might have come across this lesson called cool down exercises, right? So cool downs are as important as warm-ups because you need to bring your voice back to the normal state before you immediately start talking or using your voice for other things. So make sure you end at least 5 minutes allocated to cool down exercises. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and start categorizing your exercises into these buckets and prepare your daily schedule starting from today. And if you want to learn more exercises, check out the Vox Guru app or write to us for one-to-one classes. And stay at home, stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow with the next session. Take care.